morning, Kingsley Community. Pastor Colleen Wehrman here, coming to you with another daily devotion for Thursday, April Fool's Day. April 1st, 2021. It is Holy Thursday, Maundy Thursday. Yeah. Tim Muldoon, Ignatian Workout. On to exercise 30. In our final exercise in the theme, I hurt because I love, and this is the crucifixion. Comes from the Gospel of Luke, chapter 23, verses 32, and then 39 through 43, and then verse 46. Two others also, who were criminals, were led away to be put to death with him. One of the criminals who was hanging there kept deriding him and saying, "Are you the Messiah? Save yourself and us." But the other rebuked him, crying, "Do you not fear God, since you are under the same sentence of condemnation? And we indeed have been condemned justly, for we are getting what we deserve for our deeds, but this man has done nothing wrong." Then he said, "Jesus, remember me when you come into your kingdom." Jesus replied, "Truly I tell you, today you will be with me in paradise." Then Jesus, crying with a loud spirit, said, "Father, into your hands I commend my spirit." Having said this, Jesus breathed his last. Tim writes, the evangelists offer three different accounts of Jesus' last words. In the accounts from Matthew and Mark, Jesus cries out the words of Psalm 22:1, my God, why have you forsaken me?" John has Jesus simply saying, "It is finished," referring to the ministry the Father has entrusted to him. Luke's version here paints a slightly different portrait. Jesus expresses anguish similar to that described in Matthew and Mark, but also a trust in the loving hands of the Father. His suffering is real, perhaps too real. Perhaps, too, is his doubt about whether he has accomplished what the Father asked of him. "Into your hands I commend my spirit," he says. "Take who I am, take what I have done, accept me into your loving arms, for I have nothing left to give." In the months following the adoption of our son, as Tim writes, at 8 years old, he quickly became the habit of expressing the need to be held. "Boa, boa, baby," he would say in his native Mandarin, wanting to be picked up. Mandarin. There was often no particular need at the time except the simple, unreflective desire to be held, loved, and cared for. Often during his years at the orphanage, that need had been unrequired. And so this expression, which in other cases might seem regressive for an 8-year-old, was his way of building a sense of security with his new parents. Luke's Jesus speaks a similar sentiment at the crucifixion. "Boa, boa," he says to his Father. What is more, he speaks it on behalf of the repentant criminal, promising him that in death he will know paradise. Then Tim writes, can I express the same desire to the Father? Can I face the reality of my own death, however near or distant, with this hope and trust? Can I face my sufferings and of those of the people of God with the honesty that Jesus showed? I think so. So the prayer is meditate on the words of Psalm 131 as you reflect on the story of Jesus' crucifixion. So here is Psalm 131. "O Lord, my heart is not lifted up. My eyes are not raised too high. I do not occupy myself with things too great and too marvelous for me. But I have calmed and quieted my soul. Like a weaned child with its mother, my soul is like the weaned child that is with me. O Israel, hope in the Lord, for this time on earth and forevermore." Our action for today is to show a child in your life affection. If you have no children in your life now, support an organization that ministers to orphans. So that is Tim's action for the day. Tim takes a theological view of Jesus just wanting to be held. Jesus, into your hands I commend my spirit. He says, take who I am, take what I've done, accept me into your loving arms, for I have nothing left to give. And so this was the very human part of Jesus that was asking for his Father to comfort him and to offer up his body and his spirit to God as a sacrifice for all people. And so that's the piece that Tim pulls out in his commentary or in his devotion. The other piece I would pull out would be a little bit more emphasis on the repentant criminal, the one who says to the other, "Do you not fear God?" And then he says, we're getting what we deserve, but this man has done nothing. He's innocent. So he knew who Jesus was. he believed, and that was all he had to do, was believe. And Jesus said, today, not tomorrow, not in a few days, not in a few weeks, not when you've done what you need to do, when you've prayed so many prayers, when you've done this, when you've cleaned your act up, you will be with me in paradise. So from this portion of the cross, these last words, especially this one, into your hands I commend my spirit. Jesus and the Father were one. We have to remember that. Jesus was very human and offered his body as a sacrifice, following the Father's will, but he was also God. And so I don't know for sure if I totally agree with Tim on the whole, piece that Jesus is reverting back to a child. Maybe. It's a theological way to look at it. For me, on the other hand, it says to me that he's done what he needs to do. And so John's version, it is finished, resonates with me. And I bring that into Luke's gospel, and I look and I see that Jesus is saying, it's done. I give you my spirit now, because there's nothing else I can do. I've done everything you've asked me to do, and I've finished it. So to me, it might be a cry for comfort. It also could be a statement of fact. Into my hands I commend my spirit to you, because I've done what you've asked me to do, and I've finished the work of defeating death and sin. So yes, we can show gratitude to a company or an organization that helps children. There's Compassion International that helps children that you can reach out to and adopt a child. And I know they're looking for people to adopt children, because some people have had hard times and haven't been able to continue sponsoring their child. And so I always get emails saying, there's another child that needs to be adopted. And so there's that. You can support something like that. You can also support your local area and help go to the school and read to children. And there's all kinds of ways that you can help children. And today, as we remember Maundy Thursday, we remember that Jesus washed the disciples' feet before he instituted the Eucharist, or the Last Supper. He washed their feet. And so I pray that you remember that today. Maybe there's a service online that someone is doing. We are not doing one at Kingsley, but there's others that I have shared that are doing Maundy Thursday services online. So you don't even have to be in their neck of the woods to experience a Maundy Thursday service. So that would be something new. Maybe give that a try tonight. Other than that, we will be in person on Good Friday tomorrow at 7 o'clock at the Methodist Church in Kingsley, 113 Blair Street. And then on Easter morning on 7:30 a.m. and a 9 a.m. Easter service in person. We'll be online. Hopefully, we had a little snafu last Sunday, so hopefully we'll be online for both Good Friday and Easter, but preferably for Easter, for sure. But I hope you join me in person. And in the meantime, remember your Good Friday and have a wonderful Easter. Have a good weekend. Bye-bye.